Commander Vrak stared at the maintenance schedule, his 3 eyes twitching in annoyance. 12 years. 12 whole years they'd been watching this human push a mop around their orbital research station, and not once had anyone bothered to run a proper background check. Incompetent fools, he muttered, his translator rendering the Corithian curse words into something resembling polite disappointment. The human in question, Marcus Webb, was currently whistling some obnoxious earth tune while scrubbing the floors in Section C. Vrak had always found the sound irritating, humans and their incessant need to make noise while working. But today, something felt different. Today, the whistling seemed almost tactical. Sir, Lieutenant Zixera approached with her usual nervous energy. You requested the personnel files? About damn time. Vrak snatched the datapad from her claws. Let's see what our beloved janitor has been hiding, shall we? The first page made him blink. All 3 eyes. Simultaneously. This can't be right, he stammered, his voice modulator crackling with disbelief. Marcus Webb. Age 47. Former Earth Defense Force. Rank, Colonel. Specialty, Advanced Tactical Warfare and Xenobiological Combat Operations. Combat deployments, Proxima Centauri Conflict, the Vegan Border Wars, Operation Starfall. Decorations, Silver Star, Purple Heart, Distinguished Service Cross, Medal of Valor. The list went on. And on. And bloody on. Lieutenant, Vrak voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Are you telling me that we've had a decorated human war hero mopping our floors for over a decade? Zixera's tentacles curled in what could only be described as the Corithian equivalent of a nervous giggle. It appears so, sir. The employment records show he applied under the standard civilian classification. No military service was mentioned in his application. No military service was mentioned? Vrak voice rose to a pitch that made nearby equipment vibrate. The human has enough metals to build a small spaceship, and nobody thought to ask why a decorated colonel wanted to clean toilets? Through the observation window, they watched Marcus efficiently navigate around a group of Corithian scientists, his movements fluid and precise. What they'd previously dismissed as the bumbling gait of a simple custodian now looked suspiciously like combat positioning. Sir, Zixera's voice trembled, there's more. His psychological profile indicates expertise in 17 different forms of hand-to-hand combat, advanced weapons training, and, oh dear. What? Strategic intelligence gathering and infiltration techniques. The silence that followed was so profound it could have sucked the air out of a small moon. Vrak set down the datapad with the careful precision of someone defusing an explosive device. Lieutenant, I want you to think very carefully about your next answer. In your professional opinion, what has Colonel Marcus Webb been doing for the past 12 years? Zixera's tentacles twisted into knots. Cleaning, sir? Cleaning. Vrak repeated the word like it tasted of rotten spaceship fuel. Yes. Cleaning. Our most classified research station. With unlimited access to every department. Every computer terminal. Every conversation. The realization hit them both like a meteor to the face. He's been spying on us? Zixera whispered. Oh, my dear, naive lieutenant, Vrak laugh sounded like grinding metal. He's been doing so much more than spying. He's been playing the longest game of intelligence gathering in recorded galactic history. While we congratulated ourselves on our superior alien intellect, a human colonel has been listening to our every secret, memorizing our every weakness, and perfecting the art of being invisible in plain sight. As if summoned by their conversation, Marcus appeared in the corridor outside their observation deck. He was pushing his cleaning cart with the same unhurried pace he'd maintained for 12 years, but now Vrak noticed details he'd missed before. The way Marcus's eyes constantly scanned the environment. How his route always positioned him near critical system access points. The fact that his random cleaning schedule somehow coincided with every important meeting and classified briefing. The human looked up suddenly, and for just a moment, his eyes met Vrak through the observation window. Marcus smiled. Not the vacant, friendly grin of a simple janitor, but the cold, calculating smile of a predator who'd just realized his prey had finally figured out the game. Then he winked one eye. Casual as breathing. And went back to mopping. Vrak felt his secondary heart skip a beat. Lieutenant, I want security protocols activated immediately. And get me a direct line to Corithian High Command. Sir, what do we tell them? Vrak watched as Marcus Webb disappeared around the corner, still whistling that infuriating human tune. Tell them that we've just learned why humans are considered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And we learned it 12 years too late. The cleaning cart's wheels squeaked as it rolled away, a sound that now seemed less like maintenance equipment and more like the countdown to something inevitable. Something that had been building for 12 long years of careful observation, patient planning, and perfect camouflage, the janitor was about to clock out. And Commander Vrak had the sinking feeling that when Marcus Webb's shift ended, their problems were just beginning. 3 hours later, the alarm klaxons were screaming like wounded space whales, and Commander Vrak was discovering just how thoroughly he'd underestimated the human species. Report, he barked into his communicator, watching security feeds flicker and die one by one across his command screen. Sir, we've lost contact with sections A through G, came the panicked voice of Security Chief Nexilo. All our containment protocols are offline. The quantum research lab is locked down tighter than a black hole's event horizon, and somehow the human is still just mopping. Vrak-Th's eye stalks nearly tied themselves in knots. On the remaining functional camera, there was Marcus Webb, calm as a summer breeze on Carithia Prime, methodically cleaning the corridor outside their most classified weapons laboratory. The same corridor that should have been swarming with security forces. Where is my security team? Vrak-Th demanded. That's the problem, sir. They're all stuck in the waste reclamation facility. The doors sealed themselves, and the environmental controls are playing human music at maximum volume. Something called Never Gonna Give You Up. Even through the crisis, Vrak-Th had to admire the psychological warfare. Diabolical, Lieutenant Zixera burst into the command center, her tentacles flailing in what could only be described as controlled panic. Commander. We've analyzed the maintenance logs. Every repair Marcus made over the past 12 years, every system he claimed to clean, he wasn't fixing them. He was improving them. Improving them how? He installed backdoors, sir. Thousands of them. Our entire station is essentially running on code he wrote during his coffee breaks. The man turned routine maintenance into the most elaborate hacking operation in galactic history. Vrak-Th felt his third eye begin to twitch uncontrollably. You're telling me that while we thought he was emptying trash cans, he was actually turning our own technology against us? Worse than that, sir. He's been gradually upgrading our systems to be more efficient. Our power consumption is down 30%, our life support systems are running smoother than ever, and our defensive capabilities have mysteriously improved by 47% over the past decade. The commander's brain struggled to process this information. So he's been helping us? While spying on us? While secretly taking control of our entire station? It gets better, sir. Zixera's voice cracked like thin ice. I checked his personnel file again. More carefully this time. Marcus Webb didn't just apply for this job randomly. He specifically requested assignment to this station. This exact station. 12 years ago. The pieces fell into place with the subtle grace of a meteor impact. The vegan border wars, Vrak-Th whispered. Our forces were involved in that conflict. We were allied with the vegans against the human colonies. Yes, sir. And according to these records, Marcus Webb's unit was responsible for, by the 7 moons of Carithia. What? They were responsible for the strategic intelligence that led to the vegan surrender. Single-handedly. His unit gathered so much information about vegan and Carithian military capabilities that Earth Command was able to predict every move we made before we made it. Through the speakers, they could hear Marcus whistling again. That same infuriating tune. But now Vrak-Th recognized it for what it was, a victory song. Suddenly, every screen in the command center flickered to life simultaneously. And there, larger than life and grinning like a human who'd just won the Galactic lottery, was Marcus Webb. He'd apparently set up a camera in the janitor's closet, complete with professional lighting. Hello there, Commander Vrak-Th, Lieutenant Zixera, and whoever else is watching, Marcus said cheerfully, setting down his mop bucket with theatrical precision. I suppose congratulations are in order. It only took you 12 years to figure out what should have been obvious from day one. Vrak-Th found his voice. What do you want, human? Marcus chuckled, and the sound sent chills down Vrak-Th's spine scales. Want? Commander, I already have everything I want. 12 years of detailed intelligence on Carithian military technology. Complete blueprints of your most advanced research station. Psychological profiles on your entire command structure. And thanks to my little improvements over the years, I now have administrative control over every system on this station. You could have taken that information and left years ago, Zixera interjected. Why stay? Marcus's expression grew almost fond. Because, Lieutenant, Earth needed something more valuable than just intelligence. We needed to know if Carithians could be trusted as allies rather than just watched as potential enemies. Turns out, you're not half bad once you get past the superiority complex. He held up a small device that looked suspiciously like a standard cleaning tool but probably contained enough firepower to level a small city. Here's what's going to happen, Marcus continued conversationally. In about 10 minutes, a human diplomatic vessel is going to dock with your station. They'll be carrying a formal alliance proposal from Earth Command. You're going to accept it, because frankly, after 12 years of observation, I've determined that humanity and Carithia have more to gain as partners than as adversaries. And if we refuse? Vrak asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. Marcus's smile turned predatory. Well, Commander, you've seen what one retired human colonel can accomplish with a mop and a maintenance badge. Do you really want to find out what an entire human fleet can do when they're not trying to be subtle? The security alarm suddenly went silent. The screens returned to normal operations. And somehow, impossibly, Marcus Webb was back to mopping floors as if nothing had happened. Vrak slumped into his command chair, feeling like he'd just been intellectually dismantled by a cleaning supply closet. Sir, Zixara said quietly, what are your orders? Vrak watched Marcus Webb continue his rounds, 12 years of perfect camouflage finally revealed as 12 years of perfect preparation. The human had played the longest possible game, and somehow managed to make everyone win. Lieutenant, Vrak said finally, prepare to receive the human diplomatic vessel. And send a message to Marcus Webb. What should it say, sir? Vrak mandibles clicked in what might have been grudging respect. Tell him his performance review is long overdue. And he's getting a promotion.